Good afternoon and welcome inside the Hawks Nest for OCAA women's volleyball matchup here against the Boreal Vipers and the Humber Hawks. And coming into this one, Kyle, these are two teams on the polar opposite of the standings board. I'm Matt Hamill, actually Adam Lucia. That's Kyle Dalton on the call.
You're Adam Lucia.
Absolutely, I saw that name and read it right off, but as we take a look at the standings here, you can see that these 10-3 Hawks are right at the top of the board when it comes to provincial volleyball.
Yeah, for sure. You said it, Adam. You are Adam Lucia, just to make that sure. So you can take a look at the standings. You mentioned 10-3 are the Humber Hawks. 10-3, third place in that West Division. They lost a couple big matchups against Fanshawe and St. Clair. That's why they're standing at that third spot. Boreal coming in here all the way from Sudbury. Not what they were looking for, obviously, coming into this season. But I'm sure, the confidence still has to be there a little bit. They've been playing well as of late. They've picked up a couple sets as well. They only have one set that came against Cambrian. That was a couple of games ago, but they're coming from far away, so for sure they want to prove themselves here today, especially against a solid Humber Hawks team.
Absolutely. Two teams with two very different stories, and we could take a look now at the stats that brought them here with that head-to-head, and it's pretty clear just looking at that record and the stats underneath who is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, and it all, the big stat on the board right now that you can see is the hitting percentage, and for Boreal, it's under 100, which is obviously, or under 50 even, which is obviously not where they would like it. For Humber, they're playing at an all-time best right now this season when it comes to how they've been playing together. Hitting percentage is up there, the kills per set is up there as well, and all in all, they've really been playing well against, especially most of the teams in their division.
Yeah, very strong team effort, but let's take a look at the leaders for each team that brought them here. See those team stats there. There are Vipers by the numbers. You see Marissa Ducharme, really a leader on that team, along with a few others. And it's tough to come by numbers on an 0-12 team, but there are some players on this lineup that really are contributing.
Yeah, you mentioned Marissa Ducharme. She's one of their better players on this team, obviously leading her team in kills and points per set. But this is a young Vipers team. There's only a few players that are in their second years. The rest are all in their first years. So some potential to grow for first-year head coach Frank Lejeau. And, for this Vipers team, there is some optimism that you can look at, especially with a girl like Marissa Ducharme.
Absolutely. Some key contributors there for the Vipers and for the Hawks. Big storyline coming into today's game. Alex Kersanisic, a real offensive leader for this club. I don't believe we'll see her in the lineup tonight, Kyle.
No, she had her jog pants on, and, she was in the tracksuit when her teammates were warming up, so that's obviously not a good sign. You could see her there with the braids as well. She will not be in the lineup tonight. We're not too sure why, but she's not playing. As you can see, she leads her team in points per set as well as blocks, which is a huge miss for the Humber Hawks here today, not having her at that front line.
Yeah, definitely one of the strongest front court players for that Humber Hawks lineup. It'll be interesting to see what Chris Wilkins does, head coach, as he tries to adjust by missing one of his key contributors here tonight.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a bit more of Trinity Lougheed as well. We've seen her a few times as well, so we're excited for this one. It should be a good matchup, even though on the standings it might not seem that way, but we're hoping for a good one here today.
Yeah, every game you can play it on paper or you can hop on the court and play it out live, and that's just about what we're going to do here as we get settled in, ready for the national anthems. We're just about ready to get this one underway. I am Adam Lucier here with my broadcasting partner, Kyle Dalton. Matt Hamill's going to have to wait his turn until game number 2.
He's coming up a bit later.
So after that beautiful live rendition of the national anthem.
That was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Nice to hear a new trick here in the Hawks Nest.
First time we've seen it live as well. We usually get the recording, but it was good to see live, get the energy in the gym as well, so it's good.
Production always 10 out of 10 when it comes to Humber varsity sports. As you see the ladies huddling there, anticipating this game here tonight.
Now we're just getting the starting lineups for the Vipers and then, of course, for your Humber Hawks.
So, Kyle, see any surprises when it comes to that starting lineup? Obviously, Kirstanisic not in the lineup tonight. Some fresh faces.
Yeah, obviously, with this team coming in, Hawks are playing well. Already in that playoff position, Boreal coming in here 0-12, so some different faces, obviously. Kyla Wilkins not in the starting lineup to go along with Emma Heaney, and, you know, Dinah Campana is in the lineup as well, and Adina Wickstrom also playing, so some key players coming in off the bench and maybe a chance to prove themselves as well.
Absolutely, some valuable playing time coming for some depth players in this lineup, especially that new front court we're seeing there tonight. So we're just about to get this one underway. So Libero gets a first touch for Boreal. That's Bartman putting it up in the middle. Could not be returned by Carly Manella.
And a good start here for Humber. Alex Bartman coming up with a big hit, and that's what you want. You want Boreal to try to make these mistakes, because Humber, if they keep putting the ball in play, they should have success throughout this game.
Yeah, when it comes to assists and Alex Bartman, that won't be the last we'll see from her tonight. Leads the OCAA that is, in assists per game. As the Hawks making quick work here, that's 2 early points on the board.
Now you saw there number 2, Buffard. Couldn't handle that one. And you mentioned 2-0 start here for Humber. Good start for them.
Not a great first touch, but a recovery made by Boreal.
Free ball here.
That's Julia Watson hammering it home.
And Julia Watson, when you leave her open like that and a couple errors from Boreal, a free ball, Julia Watson isn't going to miss many of those.
So remaining on the line is Humber. Boreal needs an answer quick.
Another free ball here for Humber.
To the far side, that's Foley, able to make a play off the net. Watson again, too much to handle off the block.
Yeah, she'll take maybe touch the net a little bit too, so she'll take that one. She had 96 kills coming into this one. So she's looking to add to that total, maybe hit the triple digits after this one.
Some definite stat stuffers on this Humber side.
She already has 2 kills.
Boreal yet to find an answer to these Humber Hawks. Coming up from the backcourt. A nice dig there on the side of Boreal. That's Campan on the first touch. Bartman off the net. That's Ducharme.
Good back and forth here. Both teams keeping it alive.
Julia Watson over on 2, and that'll find some open space.
And already her 3rd kill of this game, and it's only 5-0. But some good back and forth from Boreal, keeping the ball alive as well, and some good play there from Campana.
Yeah, a couple of nice rallies thus far. That 5-0 score not doing this game justice. And for the first time, the Hawks will concede the serve.
Yep, that ends the 5-0-1, but a good job there from Alex Bartman. Started off this game for Humber and a good 5-1 start here.
Definitely the start head coach Chris Wilkins was looking for. And that first touch will find its way over the net. Foley diving in, but unable to make the play.
Yeah, just got away there from Danielle Miles, and Boreal picks up 2 straight points here as Buffard remains on the line.
We mentioned those fresh faces. Maybe chemistry might be a concern early on.
Yeah, just try to get the legs fresh here. Lots of game to be played, and it'll be interesting to see how much playing time we'll see from Kyla Wilkins and Emma Heaney, as well as Rosella Falcomer. See how much playing time head coach Chris Wilkins will give some of his regulars.
Yeah, the regulars appearing to have a good time over on the bench. Perhaps maybe a little bit of a rest day for those big starters.
Yeah, Olivia Foley into the net there.
So after that quick 5-0 run, it's now a 6-3 game.
And Humber does play tomorrow as well against Cambrian, so, that game also coming into factor for head coach Chris Wilkins.
A busy weekend for both of these programs. At that point, we'll go the way of Boreal.
So 4-1 run here for Boreal, and it was 5-0, now 6-4.
Dug themselves quite the early hole, but doing a nice job climbing out. Here's Foley with a little floater in the middle.
Kept alive here.
Campana, Bartman, Miles off the block and unable to be chased down by Carly Manella.
And Danielle Miles, we've seen a bit more playing time in this one, possibly because of Alex Kristanisic not in the lineup here today. She's not dressed.
And if you look back to last time they played Boreal, it was Adina Wickstrom and Danielle Miles that led with 8 and 7 kills respectively in that one.
And there's Wickstrom coming up with the point off the serve. As Boreal unable to handle it. But a good start here for Humber as they lead by 4.
See Adina Wickstrom there, 2.7 points a set. And like you mentioned, limited playing time for her this season, but really contributed when she's had the opportunity.
Yeah, and it's all as a point there for Humber, Rosella Falcomer, and you mentioned it, just taking advantage of the opportunity that you get. And Wickstrom has definitely done that.
Service from Wickstrom. Falcomer gets a hand on that, but a violation ruled against the Vipers. So that Humber lead just keeps on climbing.
Yeah, looks like that was on Jose Cote, number 10 for Boreal. Humber's largest lead now, 6.
Nice service there from Wickstrom. Coming up from the near side. Nice diving stab at it. Danielle Miles again off the block. We've seen that before.
Yeah, and she takes advantage of the short front line here for Boreal. And Danielle Miles going up and coming up with a big point.
Yeah, going up there with Zoe Gagne, standing at just 5'7". Just couldn't get those fingertips up to block that Miles kill. A little bit of error on that service.
Free ball here for Humber.
There's Falcomer, and she paints that corner, and no doubter. Plenty of open space back there, and 11-4 is now the score.
Great placement there from Falcomer. Found it far left side in the corner. Doesn't get much better than that.
And the story of this game so far, Boreal unable to get the Hawks off that service line.
Off the net there from Wickstrom. Big block there. Julia Watson in it. Falcomer in there as well, coming up with a big block.
Two regulars of that front court showing what they do best. Nothing going for Jose Cote there.
So far, all Humber here, their largest lead grows. Wickstrom puts it into the net. She'll come out, and looks like Campana will check back in.
Campana having a strong day defensively. Bartman will find Falcomer. And how about that play, Kyle, off the fingertips.
Yeah, a little bit of a miss setup there, but Falcomer with the long reach able to just put it over the net and find the spot. Humber leads by 9.
Yeah, you mentioned that size advantage that Humber does possess in this one. Falcomer standing 6 foot. A lot taller than those front court players from Boreal.
He's taking advantage of it so far. That's Lauren Schneider now serving.
Lauren Schneider, another one of those key depth pieces for Coach Wilkins. See her rotate into plenty of games.
Yeah, the second net violation there for Boreal, and Lauren Schneider will continue to serve here as the Hawks look to continue to grow their lead.
That first touch sails high into the banners here. And Schneider will serve it up for Miles. That's off the block, and strong play made by Boreal. That attempt made by Carly Manana meets the blocks.
Yeah, it looked like it hit the net too, but just the presence of Falcomer and Danielle Miles, they are tall players, and once they get up there, just the presence they have there can be scary for some of these players.
And that first touch is off the hands of Marissa Ducharme. Can't corral that one.
Yeah, unable to get that one. That one had some heat there from Lauren Schneider. Hawks 8 points away from picking up this first set.
Making quick work of these Vipers are the Hawks. And once again, it's a first touch mistake. That time off the arm of Zoe Gagne.
Yeah, service ace there. Lauren Schneider with the good serve, and she continues to be that good, you mentioned that good role player coming off the bench at key times during games.
Showing her ability on the service line here. And she'll get first touch now to Campana.
Free ball here for Boreal. Let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Able to get it over those blocks.
Just missing that line.
Once again, that's Manella getting the touch over the net. But as we mentioned, those blockers of Humber are causing a real thorn in the side for these Boreal Vipers. That one likely would have went out, but was played by Foley. Miles will have the opportunity, and it's once again off the arm of Ducharme. And these Hawks are steamrolling the Vipers in set number 1.
Yeah, it looked like that one might have gone out. You mentioned it, Olivia Foley, but she kept it alive, and Danielle Miles picking up the point.
Yeah, when you're playing that well, why not play that ball? Awkward first touch, but
kept
Vipers
it alive.
That's Bartman. You don't see her put one over too often. A nice play made. And that's Bartman, much to the delight of her teammates. Usually the one setting things up, but this time she's the one putting it down.
Yeah, the fans, also the men's basketball team in attendance as well. They play a little bit later, but they like that one. And you mentioned Bartman, usually the one setting up, and she comes up with a big kill there.
And the points keep piling on for Humber. 22-5, just 3 away from taking a commanding first set lead.
Yeah, Lauren Schneider's been on this service line for a while now, and she's been good, coming up with some big serves, a couple of service aces to go along with it.
Yeah, she might have to ice that shoulder after all these serves back to back. At this point, she might have a chance to close the show.
That's back-to-back aces for Lauren Schneider. She has 3 already during this little run she's been going on here. 2 points away, our Humber.
And another fine serve able to be dug up by the Vipers.
Free ball here.
Who Schneider are going to find? It's Falcomer. And that one will sail over to the scorer's table. The Hawks now 1 point away from wrapping up this set.
And Falcomer doing what she does best, coming up with a big hit. The Vipers unable to handle it, and set point here for Humber.
Opportunity now from Schneider to finish what she started. It'll be Ducharme. Nice play made on the first touch. It's Bartman once again off the net. Falcomer can't save it, and Boreal gets their first point in quite some time.
Yeah, that ends a very long run for Humber for consecutive points, and we'll see if Boreal can maybe end off this first set on a good note here as Zoe Gagne serving.
Miles goes right in the middle. Unsure is Bartman, but she'll bump it over. Over the block it goes. Campana, nice work to dig. Another opportunity. And unable to get to that one. The Vipers carrying a little momentum here in late set 1.
Yeah, that was a good hit there from Buffard. Finding the far left corner there as Campana was not in the right position. Boreal with a couple back-to-back points here and a service ace just catching the line.
As you mentioned, painting the line there. So these Boreal Vipers not going down without a fight.
And maybe trying to find a little bit of momentum that they can possibly carry over into the second set.
Who's going to get the touch? It's Falcomer.
Big block there for Boreal, and they get a free ball here.
Ducharme now from the backcourt coming up. That's Schneider. Campana to Miles. And up and off the block, out of the unstretched arm of Gagne, and that'll be set number 1 in the books. Pretty convincing. What'd you say, Kyle?
Yeah, for sure. There wasn't much deception there as the Hawks took that one 25-8, and we saw a lot of good runs. Lawrence Schneider went on a solid run with a couple service aces to go along with it. We saw a couple of those as well. So it's good to see Humber, playing that specific volleyball and maybe taking out the kicks and stuff that haven't been really solid in their game lately that they can work on here in this one. So it's a good test for them here, and obviously Cambrian coming tomorrow as well.
Yeah, quick turnaround as you mentioned. So we mentioned some of these starters resting in that lineup. Chris Wilkins smartly looking ahead to the future with that busy schedule coming up in the later half.
So the Hawks lead this one 25-8. And we talked about earlier in the game as Alex Kristanisic not being in the lineup for the Hawks in this game, and she's one of the big leaders when it comes to that front line. That front line for Humber, and they really haven't missed her that much in this one, a convincing 25-8 set, but she's been key for them so far this season.
Yeah, it must be pretty comfortable for her, able to sit this one out and take a look at that scoreboard and see that convincing set 1 victory. But that is a big hole in this lineup. She contributes a lot of things offensively and defensively. As we take a look at the blocks there, number 3 in the OCAA. So a phenomenal season for her, and we just hope this isn't injury related and more a rest and fatigue type of sit down.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for, obviously. Hoping for the best here with her missing that game.
And there is more history watch in this one as Kyla Wilkins, who we haven't really seen check into this game, she's approaching on 600 career digs, currently sitting at 577. So a chance this weekend, if that playing time gets bumped up, could reach that incredible milestone.
Yeah, of course, she's only 23 digs away from picking up that 600 milestone for her career here at Humber. That would be a fantastic accomplishment, especially if she can pick it up here today. Possibly not when it comes to the amount of playing time she'll get, but maybe tomorrow against Cambrian. So we'll see, but obviously at some point this year she'll probably get it. It's just a matter of when it will happen, and hopefully maybe it'll happen here at the Hawks Nest, so that'd be good to see.
Oh, I'm sure she'd appreciate it happening at home, and she won't get it sitting on the bench. That's where we've seen her so far today, but a milestone soon approaching for Kyla Wilkins, the 5th-year leader of this women's volleyball program.
And it'd be interesting to see how head coach Chris Wilkins brings in some of his usual starters. As it looks like Emma Heaney is actually going to begin this game on the floor, or begin the set rather on the floor. She did not start this game. She usually starts. She did not start in this one. So it'll be interesting to see how he loads his management and the time of spent on the floor for some of his starters.
You got to say, with this depth lineup, not much of a drop-off in skill or level of performance. Of these girls have been on absolute fire in set number 1, hoping to carry on that momentum in set 2. Zoe Gagne will be the one to start things off.
Now that was a tough serve to handle there for Campana. That was a nice and low just above the net.
Yeah, Brandy Ferguson, the one there, chasing that one down, but unable to corral it. Danielle Miles here on the near side. 2 Vipers go for it, but neither successful.
And a good spot there for Miles. We just mentioned about Alex Kristanisic not playing. As a key player stepping up in her absence. Danielle Miles, obviously one of them, finding an early point here in set number 2.
Rosella Falcomer will send that serve way long. And Boreal will once again regain that 1-point lead. Good showing early on in this set. They started set number 1 with a 5-0 deficit. Nice work here to keep things close. It'll be Miles again. This time handled by the Vipers, and it's Ducharme that cannot find the line.
Yeah, Ducharme just trying to find that line in between. Looked like over there, Miles was there. Unable to find it, so the Hawks get the point. It's 2-2.
Not too many holes to find in this Hawks defense.
Absolutely.
And that's an awkward touch off the libero. That's Brianne Chouinard.
Yeah, Chouinard there looked like she was in between. Didn't know if she should play it or not or let it go. She caught herself in between, and the Hawks will take the point.
She got the first touch here and do good with it. Miles again with the opportunity. Time and time again, it's been into the hands of Danielle Miles. That's in the middle to Foley. Nice work by Gagne to just get her hands up, get anything on that ball, but too much power on that one.
And Dina Wickstrom coming up with the point.
Ducharme now for the Vipers. That's off the block, and Wickstrom is the one getting up there with that big block.
And Adina Wickstrom getting up. Not the tallest on the team, but she got up there and made a nice block.
Showing off that athleticism. So what was a 2-1 lead for these Vipers, now a 3-point deficit. And that's a nice play made. That's Miriam Bouffard.
Yeah, Bouffard coming up with a solid hit in that first set. She came up with a couple good points there for the Vipers and coming up with a good hit out of the reach of Campana.
Ducharme, a definite leader for this Viper team. Sally Nguyen. A net violation ruled. That point will go the way of Boreal.
Might have just touched the net there.
And Nguyen, a dangerous one to watch on the floor. Often finds herself involved on the net. Ducharme calls for it, but it's waved off. Wickstrom in the middle.
Another good hit there from Adina Wickstrom. Coming up big. Hawks lead 6-4.
Definitely a more back and forth set than the one we saw earlier on.
Yep, for sure. And Danielle Miles serving now. She leads her team with 5 kills so far in this one.
Marissa Ducharme, that's going to go off the arms of Brandy Ferguson. Boreal keeping this one interesting.
And Ducharme leads her team coming into this game with 45 kills, which leads her team. She picks up one there.
Sudbury native Miriam Bouffard. A little ruling on the score sheet there. That point was awarded falsely to Humber.
Might have been a net violation, maybe?
I believe so. A little late call at the end there.
So you can take away that kill from Ducharme.
She'll have another opportunity here. Ferguson over to Nguyen. The block finds its way. It's over in 1. Campana going to settle these things down. And just unable to corral it off the net. A little bit of an awkward play there for those Vipers. Another point on the board for the Hawks.
Yeah, Bouffard, their number 2 for the Vipers, trying to keep that one alive a few times. Almost got that last one, but just went off the net and found the out of bounds.
Danielle Miles, one of the key players so far tonight, gets that one away. She'll get first touch.
And Mahaney coming into this game, she didn't play at all in the first set, and she picks up her first point here in set number 2. It's 9-4.
Every new player to come into this one for the Hawks is a different weapon for head coach Chris Wilkins. That low serve will pelt the net. It's once again Bouffard. The libero with the touch. Sally Nguyen going to the middle of the court, but is returned by Boreal.
Oh, good block there. Adina Wilkinson up there as well. Excuse me, Wickstrom. Adina Wickstrom up there with the big block to come up with the point and get the ball back for Humber.
That ball off the block. Going cross court for that winner. The Hawks doubling up Boreal 10-5. Once again, the block getting in the way. Miscommunication by a couple Vipers there. That's Bouffard and Cote. A little mix-up as they're going for the same ball.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. The Hawks will definitely take that as Val Comer came up with the big block just before that.
Look at those impressive numbers from Wickstrom. And over on 1 go the Vipers. Sure didn't look intentional. Nguyen with the opportunity but can't convert. As we'll see Wickstrom tag out of this one and the libero Campana back in. Still no sign tonight of Kyla Wilkins. As we mentioned before, she is on pace to reach that 600 career dig milestone fairly soon.
Yeah, just 23 away from accomplishing 600. So it'll be interesting to see how much playing time or if any here in this game.
Brandy Ferguson over to Nguyen. The Vipers once again with that miscommunication, some sloppy play at the net, and they're paying for it tonight.
Yeah, they just don't seem to be on that same page when it comes to these key plays, and the Humber Hawks are definitely going to be able to take advantage of that.
So from the front court to the service line is Sally Nguyen. And why not start it off with a service ace? Not too shabby.
Yeah, she'll definitely take that. Sally Nguyen serving for the first time in this one. First-year player comes up with a big ace.
Averaging a dig and a half per set. See that whizzing serve just cut over top of the net.
Oh, nice play there.
How about that?
Bouffard. And Ferguson comes up with the big kill.
That set going a little bit over to the side of Humber. Brandy Ferguson saying thank you very much. She pounds that one home.
And when you give Humber those opportunities to strike, they don't usually miss them.
Middle of the court and out. Off the hands of Zoe Gagne.
A good read there from Campana. Let that one go out. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor.
Timeout on the floor, sitting at 15-6 here in set number 1. Hawks Nation is the official Humber Varsity fan club. You can follow them on all social media and Instagram, Humber Hawks Nation. Always giving out some nice free swag at the games, as if you needed any more incentive to come check out your home team, Humber Hawks.
And if you need more, there's free popcorn to go along with it. So you can't ask for much more.
And it's not only the fans taking advantage of that popcorn. You see a lot of pregame meals from these varsity athletes.
And the Leafs don't play tonight either, so why not come and watch the volleyball? Men's team are in action after this one, so it's some good volleyball here today for sure.
And not just one fill for the day of volleyball, as tomorrow, as we mentioned, Cambrian coming in here, so a full slate for both of these programs. That men's game is coming up at 8 o'clock. It'll be my partner here, Kyle Dalton, and Matt Hamill on the call, right here on the Hawk Sports Network. So Ducharme will get it over for the Vipers. Rushing back is Miles. Free ball.
A miss set there.
Little cheeky play over on 2 is Brandy Ferguson.
Smart play. Boreal was caught there with the bad set. Hawks took advantage of the ball, and Ferguson drops it right in. Hawks lead by 10.
Catching the Vipers off guard, as they've been doing all night long. The Hawks continue to roll here at the Hawks Nest. Emma Heaney with a rocket. Nice play by Ducharme.
That just kept a live free ball here for Humber.
Falcomer on the far side. Once again off the block. Dig there from Ducharme. Once again, miscommunication proving costly for these Vipers.
We mentioned a few times a couple of nice plays from Ducharme, number 15 for the Vipers, keeping that ball alive. But again, the miscommunication is playing a big factor here for the Vipers.
That front court really has not had too many answers. They're going to need to sort it out quick, as they find themselves in quite the hole.
Find Emma Heaney here. A little bit mishit there.
Cross court slider, it looked like.
The Hawks will get the point anyway. Not exactly what Emma Heaney was looking for, but I think she'll definitely take it.
Yeah, in a game like this, even the bounces are going their way as if they needed it. The Hawks taking advantage of every opportunity, and it's shown on the scoreboard. Over on 2 it goes. That's Falcomer who puts it away. And what was a pretty tight beginning to set number 2, it's now wide open, 19-6.
It looks like what the problem is for Boreal is once Humber gets on those runs, it's tough to stop, and a lot of teams struggle to stop those Humber Hawks runs. Another miscommunication there, play for the Vipers, and the Hawks will take that for sure, as they're only 5 points away from picking up this second set and going up 2-0.
Yeah, this Hawks team not exactly in need of those free points. They have plenty of talent as is. And once again, that's Ducharme and her teammate Megan Hicks, who just make eye contact and let that one hit the floor. Sally Nguyen remains on the service line. First-year player who's really contributed. Though she'll send that one long for a service error.
Ashley's played really well all year round for the Humber Hawks, playing in some key games as well, and getting some good playing time, especially here tonight, as the Hawks are 4 points away here.
Campana with the first touch. It's Ferguson to Heaney. And a battle at the net is won by Humber. And that's a strong effort given by Caroline Pelerin.
Diving across there. Unable to keep it alive. It would have been tough even if she was able to keep it up in the air for her team. And the Hawks lead by 3 here, as Emma Heaney will try to finish this one out on the service line.
3 points stand between the Hawks and a set 2 victory. And make that 2 as that play from Ducharme only finds the net.
Yeah, that set there for Ducharme was a little bit behind her, unable to get as much power on it into the net. And Mahiney back at the service line.
Yeah, that second touch for these Boreal Vipers really been the story in this one.
And you can see it right there as well, just that you mentioned it, that second touches hasn't been in their favor so far in this one.
Unable to get anything going. No rhythm yet for these Vipers as they're 1 point away from dropping this set. Heaney with the opportunity to close it out. Whistle there, point going to the Vipers, so they'll stay alive, if only briefly.
Yeah, looks like a net violation from Falcomer there. So the Vipers will look to maybe, again, gain a little bit of momentum heading into the third set. Oh, a chance there for Ducharme off a miss hit from Heaney, but unable to corral it, and the Hawks take this one easily once again.
Yeah, set number 2 ends with a whimper as Ducharme sends that one into the net. We have identical set scores, 25-8 for both set number 1 and number 2. And Kyle, what has really allowed the Hawks to just completely dominate these first 2 sets?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. The Humber obviously playing well, coming up with some big hits. But we mentioned a little bit before that second hit coming from Boreal, just a couple of those mistakes that can really get into a snowball effect. And obviously Humber has taken advantage of those. But you have to give credit where credit is due. Humber has played well, coming up with some big points, and they're playing well as a team, which obviously you love to see.
Yeah, a lot of chemistry shown. These are players who don't necessarily take the court together each and every game, but not showing too much rust as they're absolutely rolling in this one, making light work of these visiting Vipers.
Yeah, obviously players like Kyla Wilkins, still haven't seen her yet in this game. We might see her in the third set just so she can get a little bit of action before tomorrow's game. Obviously, Julia Watson, we saw her in the first set, and we haven't really seen her since. So it'll be interesting to see what head coach Chris Wilkins decides to do for his players. But so far, it's been good. He's been spreading out the minutes here and try to keep some players fresh on the court.
Absolutely, a long grind is this season for the student athletes. So rest and recovery definitely a major concern for head coach Chris Wilkins, and the girls have been impressive. As we mentioned, some starters absent in tonight's lineup, but whoever is called upon has been an absolute star.
And then, like you said, the stars come into play here. Some players stepping up. Some players that we might not see get a lot of playing time, getting the opportunity here today. And of course, that's what you want to see here. Boreal come in here, not the greatest record, obviously not what they were looking for to start the season, but maybe looking to try to gain some momentum and try to finish off the season maybe on a good foot as well.
Yeah, I'm sure 0-12 was not the desired destination when they started this season, but they're playing strong here and putting up a good fight against these Humber Hawks. Speaking of which, you can follow them on any of these major social media platforms: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever the kids are on nowadays. You can follow them right at Humber Hawks for all your varsity news and highlights.
Yeah, you get some updates there, some live game tweets as well. Some good website, up to date, so it's good.
Hashtag Bannerville.
For sure.
We have 30 seconds to go until set number 3. The Hawks looking to close this one out with a sweep. They've completed 3-set sweeps in both of their last 2 contests, so this team on absolute fire. We mentioned just sitting behind Fanshawe and St. Clair for the top of those leaderboards, and performances like this will sure help climb them back to the top.
And it's been those 2 games, both games against Fanshawe. They did lose, and of course losing 1 to St. Clair. So a couple tough games there that I'm sure they would love to have back. I'm sure Chris Wilkins has to be pleased with how his team has played so far in this one.
I mean, think of a young team with 9 first-year players on it. You got to be pretty happy with this 10-3 season.
Sure.
A lot of signs that the future will be very, very bright on the court for this women's basketball or women's volleyball program, that is.
And some of these players haven't really experienced that rivalry game that we saw a couple weeks ago when Fanshawe was here. And I'm sure that type of energy will be playing once the playoffs hit for Humber.
Yeah, the North Campus Gym, always a fun place to see a game, but there's something different about that Fanshawe game. You could really tell the intensity of that rivalry. And Alex Bartman will start off this set with a service error. So Gagne now with an opportunity. It's Campana to Bartman. Sally Nguyen will split to Boreal Vipers. And that brief lead for Boreal is gone. Be interesting to see the personnel changes applied by Coach Wilkins. He's been fairly creative with that lineup tonight.
Good hit there from Sally Nguyen picking up the point. And yeah, I doubt we're going to see Kyla Wilkins in this game. As much as we want to see her break that 600 mark, it doesn't look like it's going to happen today. And maybe just getting that little bit of an extra rest.
A little selfish of us, I think. We all want to see that milestone, but Kyla deservedly getting some rest, as you see why Adina Wickstrom really taking over this game.
And some of the key role players coming up with some big points here and playing well as well in the absence of some of the star players.
So Danae Campana suns that one long. See Campana no longer wearing that libero jersey. That's now Lauren Schneider will have the opportunity. Kyla Wilkins, obviously the regular libero for this club. And a nice eye shown by Campana, letting that one sail long.
Yeah, good patience, letting that one, like you said, that good eye, watching it go just out of bounds. And now Adina Wickstrom will get back on the service line.
See there, averaging 2.11 kills per set. She has 4 kills on the day. As Ducharme finds nothing but net. 5-2 Hawks. So once again, that hole coming quickly, and it's only getting deeper for these Vipers as every set is played out in a similar fashion.
And that last play was that second hit that we were talking about earlier. Just wasn't high enough for Ducharme. Unable to put that one over the net.
A nice dig made there by Joelle Prue, but time and time again, that second touch getting the Vipers into trouble. Unable to set up their front court.
Yeah, Wickstrom finding a good spot there on that serve as well. Tough to handle for Boreal.
And how about that? When you're hot, you're hot. Wickstrom keeps on going as she paints the back line. And if anything, this contest has been a pretty good service practice opportunity for these Hawks.
Absolutely. Just going up with a good arc and dropping it right at the back of the court with the point.
Another strong one there. That first touch goes all the way to the net.
Oh, miscommunication there, Wickstrom.
Yeah, Bermuda Triangle, Campana, Wickstrom, and
Alex Bartman.
That's it, Alex Bartman.
There,
trying to find that third member of the crew as they all saw that one fall to the court.
Kept alive there, good play from Campana.
Ferguson just pokes it over. It's Ducharme on the far side. Sally Nguyen. Coming all the way from the backcourt is Campana. She has some heat on that one.
Big hit there from Campana. Coming up with a big hit. After a couple good defensive plays, comes up with a point.
Averaging nearly 5 assists per set is Ferguson, as she'll be charged with that service error. That error will keep the Vipers in the rear view mirror. Hawks currently doubling them up. That touch is chased down by Bartman. A free ball coming for the Vipers. Let's see what they can get done. Ducharme from the back court.
Yeah, they go to their best player, Ducharme.
Falcomer just has to bump it over. Can the Vipers get anything going? It appears not, as that's Falcomer and Bartman at the net.
That's that second hit once again for the Vipers. going over to the Humber side. And when you give Humber that opportunity and that chance to get a point that easily, they're not going to miss many of those.
Yeah, you can almost see Falconer's eyes light up from up here when that second touch just floats over her way. Nguyen, that had some heat, but a nice work to make a play.
Yeah, great job by the Vipers keeping that one alive.
Nguyen once again on the near side, off the block. Play made off the net.
That's going to be 4 touches there for Boreal, but some big blocks there from Falcomer and Ferguson going up.
Yeah, nice rally there, but as it's been all game, advantage Humber, especially with that size and athleticism at the front court. Those 50-50 balls are currently going the way of the Hawks.
That one just long from Sally Nguyen. That'll be service here for the Vipers and Jose Cote.
Schneider sends that one high. Nguyen with another opportunity. Carly Gravel there with the kill attempts, but once again finding that net, another unforced error. Just allows those Hawks points to keep piling up.
Yeah, but Humber has done a really good job of keeping the ball in play and allowing for these mistakes for Boreal, putting the pressure on the defense to make a play, and you can see right there a good service ace.
Yeah, Sally Nguyen putting the pressure on the Vipers with that service.
It's all about putting the pressure on the defense to make them make mistakes, and definitely Humber has done that here today.
Gonna have to chase it down. Nice play made by Bartman.
It looks like that tipped off Falcomer there.
Yeah, Falcomer not too pleased with herself on that one as she'll check out of this one. Likely should have let that one go, but little over eager with the touch.
Yeah, she was pretty close to the big kill. Tough to read that one. A misset there from Ferguson, and Bartman unable to hit that one as well as she would want, or as well as she would have wanted.
Yeah, it looked as though she was going for that cross-court slice, but just couldn't get all of it. Other side now to Nguyen. That one just off the top of the net, but blockers were there and ready.
As Zoe Gagne in there as well. And it's 12-8 here. Boreal trying to break their mark of 8 that they reached the last 2 sets.
And Wickstrom, who's had a strong contest, adds to it here. That'll be kill number 5, currently leading the Hawks.
Dina Wickstrom coming up big with a big kill. You mentioned number 5.
So here's Bartman, the OCAA assist leader. Also showing what she can get done offensively. A couple kill opportunities here for her today, and why not tack a service ace onto that stat sheet?
And that's why that bench was getting so fired up when she got that big kill earlier, is because she's known for her assist, and you mentioned it, first in the league in assist.
Showing the versatility in her game. And that one sails over the back corner. Carly Gravel couldn't locate that one.
Alex Bartman serving here for Humber as they lead by 7.
Ducharme off the block and down. That's Danielle Miles that'll get rewarded with that block. And there you see it, Alex Bartman, league leader numero uno when it comes to assists. She's been a key contributor setting up the likes of Julia Watson and Rosella Falcomer.
And she'll pick up a service ace here, as you just saw that assist per set leader coming up with back-to-back aces here. Alex Bartman 17-8, Hawks lead by 9.
Ducharme gets it up to a teammate. It's bumped over to Schneider. Bartman will get the touch. Floater there from Wickstrom, easily returned. Can't get past the blocks. And it's Danielle Miles once again.
Yeah, Wickstrom up there as well. Coming up with a big block is Miles. And the presence of Wickstrom as well.
Remaining on the service line is Alex Bartman. These runs more like marathons for the Hawks.
Oh, what a hit there.
Great hit, and how about that set from Bartman? Turning on 180 to set it over.
Just perfect. That's why she's the assist leader. And Danielle Miles coming up with her 7th kill of this one here as Hawks are 6 points away from picking up the sweep.
That's a milestone point for Boreal as they get to the 9-point mark for the first time in this one. Bartman, who's been on fire all night, sets up that teammate once again, and that'll hit the floor 20-9 as the Hawks have been breezing through this contest.
Campana now serving here, trying to finish this one off, 5 points away. Just long there, going for that service ace. Hawks have had plenty of those in this one.
Yeah, why not join the fun, right? You see your teammates time and time again with the aces, trying to paint that back line, but just sailing long. Buffard will get us underway. Danielle Miles straight into the arms of Gagne. Just couldn't get anything done with it.
And
awkward position on that ball.
We're just about to end this one, 4 points. Kyla Wilkins will finally check into this game.
And how about that? Better late than never. In steps Kyla Wilkins to a nice round of applause from her teammates.
And maybe she will get 23 digs in the last 4 points here for Humber.
We're going to need some long rallies.
Yeah, for sure.
But with Kyla Wilkins, I know better than to rule her out of anything. She
There's
makes
one.
a nice play right off the bat.
Add that to the total.
The drive for 600 continues.
Put over
electrifying the bench every time Kyla gets a touch on the ball.
Kyla Wilkins already making an impact early into her game as we're just about to end this one here. 3 points away is Humber.
Plenty of opportunities to close it out. And a free opportunity from Falcomer, unable to convert.
Another free ball opportunity here for Humber.
Wilkins with the setup to Nguyen. And that point will go towards Humber.
Net violation.
Kyla Wilkins averaging just over 4 digs per set.
That leads the league, and she also leads the league in totals for digs with 156 coming into this game.
Ducharme having to backpedal to get to that one.
A little bit of a miss hit there from Kyla Wilkins.
Yeah, shaking off a little bit of rust perhaps, getting into this game later than usual.
Yeah, she's been standing on the bench over there for a while now.
Able to laugh off those errors when you have this type of breathing room.
Trying to get the volleyball knowledge here. Looked like maybe a misformation here on Humber. Either or, the ball's in play.
That's all we need to know. That's a strong hit there by Gravel, but it'll meet the net, and it's 24-12 for these Humber Hawks.
The presence of Falcomer there and Danielle Miles coming up. Zemahini we'll check into this one.
Little issue with the substitution, but they do get it
Finally get her in.
underway.
Hawks 1 point away, match point here. Looking to sweep the Vipers.
Danielle Miles had a strong day today, chance to close it out. But that service will find its way outside the line. So the Hawks will have to wait for that victory celebration. Looking to sweep their 3rd straight contest. Over it goes from Schneider. To the backcourt, it's Campana. Nguyen, chance to end it. Off the block and out, that'll do it. And quick and easy work for the Humber Hawks as they knock off the Boreal Vipers in 3 straight sets. Pretty impressive performance, wouldn't you say, Kyle?
For sure, you could say that again. Under an hour, the Hawks win this one 25-8 in the first and second set, and then 25-13 in set number 3 to pick up the straight sets victory. And it was a dominant performance from the Hawks from the very beginning. We didn't see a lot of starters, but we did see a lot of the role players and the bench players coming into play, and Danielle Miles coming up with player of the game as well.
Just announced over the PA system, Danielle Miles, your player of the game. She was an absolute source of that front court, and early on the Vipers really didn't have an answer for that front court from the Hawks, and really didn't come up with one by the end of this game. No adjustments made that worked, and it was a pretty easy going win as the Hawks take this W. And you see the boys there congratulating the girls on the court. HumberHawks.ca is all your news, updates, and all things Hawks. If you're trying to catch a recap, a box score, or maybe even preview an upcoming game, that's the place to do it. As you mentioned, less than an hour, a pretty quick contest. Yeah. They made light work, so this men's game should start a little earlier than usual, perhaps about a half hour's time, but all celebration on the floor right now for the Humber Hawks. Is a lot of smiles tonight.
Absolute dominant win for Humber. They'll be in action once again tomorrow, as we mentioned before, against Cambrian. That game will be at 1 o'clock, and Humber really took advantage of a lot of the misplays from Boreal. And when you give a team like the Hawks, a dominant team, that just a little bit of extra breathing room and that extra space to take momentum, they're not going to miss it. And obviously we saw it here today, a couple big set wins.
Yeah, I don't want to say a flawless performance from the Hawks, but it was pretty close to it, as the Vipers getting nothing doing all night long. You see a nice touch there. The bell Let's Talk Tukes, as Humber's varsity program show support for mental health awareness.
The Vipers getting in on the action as well, which is good to see.
Pretty cool
Both
showing
teams.
of sportsmanship.
See Bell Let's Talk Days on January 30th, so it's always a great program as well.
Yeah, Bell Let's Talk, hashtag here to play. Humber Varsity always involved with social causes. Let's get a nice photo op there. So after doing battle on the court, both teams settled down for a group photo. It's been a fun night of volleyball. Not exactly the tightest of contested ball games, but an entertaining one nonetheless. Let's take a look at those final scores there. Those last 2 sets not needed. 25-8, 25-8, 25-13.
And you can see
your runaway scores.
Warming up here as they're getting set. You mentioned it might come a bit earlier than expected. The men's team playing well as of late, and I'm sure they're feeling good coming into this game against the Vipers.
Speaking of that men's game, coming up in no time at all, but that'll do it for us for this broadcast. For Adam Lucier and my broadcasting partner, Kyle Dalton, thanks for tuning in.